Hey man, what's up? What's happening? You already know who it is and what it is. It's your boy Nephew Q, host of Conversations with Q, here to give you another episode. Here today, I'm giving you my 2 minute rundown where I have an array of topics and I spend 2 minutes on each topic. But before we get into all of that, I need everybody to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel Conversations with Q, or download the podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms. Now, let's get right on into today's show. And today I want to start off with the WNBA. Their season kicked off last night where you had the young phenom Caitlin Clark. A lot of people are really interested to see how she does her rookie season and her rookie debut. But before we get to Caitlin Clark, let's make sure we give love, praise, and adulation and admiration to where it's supposed to be, which is to the Las Vegas Aces, the two-time defending champions on their way to trying to have a quest of a three-peat. And spearheading that three-peat, you have Asia Wilson in her 2024 WNBA season debut, and she did not disappoint as she had 30 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. Now, some of her teammates chipped in as well, as Casey Plum chipped in with 19, and Jackie Young, she chipped in with 23, as the Las Vegas Aces had their ring ceremony, got their rings last night, and on the quest to try to three-peat this upcoming season. But you have some teams that are in the way of that three-peat. But before I get to some of those teams, let's talk about Caitlin Clark, the young phenom, which a lot of people are tuning in to see. You have record sales going up. You have pre-sale tickets going up. You have WNBA teams, finding bigger venues for when she comes to their town. They want to make sure they accommodate for more people than they have in their original arena. I mean, Caitlin Clark is driving up all type of sales for the WNBA, but she's not by herself. You also have the Bayou Barbie, Angel Reese, who plays for the Chicago Sky. And then you have Carmela Cardoso, which won the national championship with South Carolina. She also plays for the Chicago Sky. So the WNBA is littered with young and bright stars. But let's talk about Caitlin Clark. She shot 13 for 20, I believe it was last night. She had 20 points. She had 10 turnovers. And a lot of people are harping on the 20 turnovers that she had last night. For me, it's not that big of a deal. It's her first game in the WNBA. I know Diana Taurasi had some comments about Caitlin Clark during the national championship game saying, hey, there's a learning curve when you step in the WNBA arena. So make sure you're ready and prepared. But let's make sure we also shed light on some of the other stars in the WNBA, some of the other great teams like the New York Liberty. And with the New York Liberty, they have Sabrina Ionescu, who was in a three-point contest. I'm sorry if I messed up her name. I always mess up her last name. But she was in a three-point contest with Steph Curry. You also have Breanna Stewart, who's on the New York Liberty squad. You have Miss Jones. So make sure y'all pay attention to the New York Liberty. There's other great teams, other great stars. You have Miss Boston, who's also on Caitlin Clark's team in the Indiana Fever. So the WNBA is poised to have record numbers and do a lot of great things this upcoming season. But let's get to the next topic, which is there's a dad on TikTok who has gone viral. Sorry about that. Got a text message. There's a dad on TikTok who has gone viral. And the reason why he's gone viral is simply because his 7-year-old daughter was getting bullied at school. And so the bullying wouldn't stop. So the dad did what a lot of dads would do. He pulled up on the girl who was doing the bullying. He pulled up on her dad because obviously he's not going to fight a 7-year-old little girl. So he pulled up on the dad. But not only did he pull up on the dad, they jumped the bullying girl's dad. So the guy you see right there at the top of the display, him and his brothers jumped the little girl's dad who was bullying his little girl. Now, it's caused a lot of controversy because some people are saying, well, why did you have to jump the little girl's dad? Why can't you shoot the fade 101? Well, he gave some explanation. He said, hey, the reason why me and my brothers jumped her dad is because, they need to learn life ain't fair. And a lot of people were like, why would you do that to that little girl's, and not only that, they jumped the father in front of, well, I ain't gonna say in front of, but the little girl seeing her father getting jumped. And, the guy in the TikTok video, he says, look, I know I feel bad for the little girl. I know she's probably going to need therapy when she gets older because of what she's seen, et cetera, et cetera. But he said, it was his reasoning. He said the little girl needs to understand that there are consequences to your actions. Now, he does have a point right there. But the point is that maybe, I don't know if going that far as to doing it in front of the little girl, and also for the father whose girl is getting bullied. Did you teach your daughter self-defense? I know people say, well, you tell your kids to tell the teacher if you're getting bullied. Man, look, this is 2024. Ain't nobody doing all that. A lot of parents are teaching their kids to defend themselves against bullying in any shape, form, or fashion, and whatever that looks like. So he's causing a lot of controversy on TikTok right now with his method of how he went about his daughter getting bullied. But for me, I really don't have no problem with it. I wish he would have shot the fair one with the father. So you know what I'm saying? But, his logic and his reasoning behind it is because he felt like that the little girl needs to know that there are consequences to your actions. And that also the reason why me and my brothers jumped hit your dad is because sometimes life just ain't fair. And so, but anyways, me personally, like I said, I get it. I'm a father. I got 2 girls. I have kids, period, and so I get it. When you see your kid getting hurt in whatever form that looks like, the parent in you wants to retaliate immediately, and he took measures into his own hands. He stated multiple times that, I know I'm going longer than 2 minutes. He stated multiple times that, he's tried reaching out to the teacher. He's tried to reach out, to try to get the situation resolved, and none of the other methods worked. So he took methods into his own hands, literally. But anyways, let's talk about another type of assault story that I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with this story that's going on in Ohio, where you have a former principal and former superintendent who was caught assaulting 2 of her 16-year-old students. Now, her name is Laura Amiro. She's 40 years old. She's a former superintendent of Windham Village Schools, and she got convicted of the assault in 2019, I believe. And that's when all the situation, came about, if you've been following the story. Now, the situation goes like this. The case began to unfold in 2019 when the Windham police were contacted by a concerned parent and learned that Miss Amiro's previous job as principal of Windham School in 2017. She pursued illegal sexual relationships with not one, but 2 16-year-old boys. Now, a police officer then recorded the conversation between him and Miss Amiro when he questioned her about the intimate video of her that was being passed around the students. So apparently there's a video of her and a student, and their kids. So of course the video is going to go around. Like, did she think that the kid was not going to share the video with other kids? But anyways, and during the conversation between the officer and her, she kind of lightweight admitted about the video, He said, on the tape, the officer said, in the last 3 days, it has come up and there supposedly is a video. And she responded, that's what I heard too. And he told her, if there is a video and if you're on it, you might want to get ahead of that. Now, she got convicted of the crimes that, allegedly she did. Now, when she got confronted with all the evidence, she pled guilty to having a sex with a 16-year-old boy and trying to have sex with another student. So she pled guilty in November 2019. Now, she got sentenced in February of 2020, and she told the court, I never imagined I would hurt my kids, but I did. I allowed the lines to be crossed that shouldn't have never been crossed. You think? Like, you didn't think you a grown-ass woman with a 16? Now, over time, I know, a little 2 minutes. I went 2 minutes over on this topic again. Now, also, there's more to this story. She was also pregnant at the time of her sentencing. Now, we don't know if it was the little boys or whatever the case may be, but she was pregnant. She got sentenced to 10 years in prison. And upon her release, she has to register as a sex offender for the rest of her life. Now, she also said on that day she got sentenced, she turned to the family. She said, I hope that one day these families will forgive me and understand that I'm truly sorry. I never wanted to hurt these children. I'm so sorry. And I'm so sorry from the bottom of my heart for these victims and their families. And so she got 10 years. Now, she tried to appeal, saying that the 10-year sentence was too harsh. Baby, I hate to tell you this, but if the shoe was on the other foot and there was a male with a 16-year-old little girl and he got a 10-year bid, nobody would have betted an eye. Everybody would have been like, whoop, that's what he deserves. He get it. Nasty pedophile, dirty, blah, blah, blah. So the same goes for you, ma'am. Like, you get the same type of treatment just because you're a woman. We don't just, we're going to be lenient. It was a woman. No. A pedophile is a pedophile. Don't matter what, gender you are. But anyway, she tried to appeal in the 11th District Court of Appeals, and it got rejected on March 18, 2024. And they said that the reason why they rejected her appeal is because she had an abuse of power as an authority figure and created lifelong trauma for her victims. And now, as of April 17, 2024, she has been sent to the Ohio Reformatory for Women in Marysville. But the story's not done. She has filed an appeal with Ohio Supreme Court, and she asked to have her sentence, to have her stay at sentence, meaning she wanted to have home confinement, continue her $350,000 bond, and keep her on electronic monitoring until the appeal could be heard, but the courts denied her request. So basically what she's saying is, hey, until my appeal gets a yay or nay, can I stay at home and chill for a little bit? I have the ankle monitor on. The Ohio Supreme Court was like, nah, bruh, we're not doing that. And so she's not eligible for parole until March of 2034. Man. And she has to, like I said earlier, she has to register as a sex offender for the rest of her life. And the last topic we have for today now, Club Shay Shay for 2024 has become a popular hit podcast. Now, I've been following Club Shay Shay for a little while now, but he has had some explosive guests on there, most notably Cat Williams when he kicked it off in January 2024 with his amazing interview on Club Shay Shay. But Kale from Keenan and Kale was on Club Shay Shay recently in the newest episode. And while he was on Club Shay Shay, he revealed that his then wife had a baby by another man at the beginning of their marriage. And she aborted that child. And he didn't know until later on that when she was pregnant, it wasn't even his child. But that's not where the story keeps going. The story is she got pregnant again by another man while in their marriage. And you can tell during this conversation that Kale, I don't know, just from observing from the outside looking in, he looked like he was a little bit uncomfortable with having this conversation about this situation that happened, about his ex-wife not only getting pregnant by one man that, and ultimately aborting the child, but getting pregnant again by another man. Kale, look, I ain't trying to throw stones from a glass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got plenty of skeletons in my closet as well, just like everybody else. But on Conversations with Q, we have to talk about topics like this. And man, I just want to know. And there are women out there who have stayed with men who have had multiple babies by multiple other women. But Kale took the till death do you part, honoring those vows. Apparently he took that very, very seriously, to where his wife had 2 kids, allegedly, by 2 other men while they were married. So make sure y'all check out that conversation. That episode on Club Shay Shay with Kel Mitchell. He's one of our childhood stars from Keenan and Kel, from Good Burger. From all that. He was one of our childhood stars growing up. And to see him go through something like that, man, it just lets you know that just because people are celebrities, they aren't immune to the trials and tribulations of life. They still go through stuff the same way us, quote unquote, regular people go through life. But anyways, I'm getting ready to get on up out of here. I've taken up too much of your time already. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, KY Beyond the Game, and also Conversations with Q. Make sure you download the podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms. And also, make sure you go on Amazon. Check out this book right here, Young, Dumb, and Naive by Alicia Henderson. This is a book. It's about a 14-year-old girl who wants to take her life back. Now, no longer will she be dragged through the mud by her mother. It ends now. So make sure you check this book out. If you have a young child in the house, it's a great read for the young child as well. So make sure you check that out while you're subscribing to the podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms. I'm getting ready to get on up out of here. But as always, make sure you treat somebody how you want. Oh, wait a minute. If y'all ain't done this yet, make sure y'all shop at BeyondTheGameKY.com, where you can get Stay Positive hoodies, t-shirts, all type of Beyond the Game, Conversations with Q apparel. So make sure y'all get there, shop BeyondTheGameKY.com. Get you some apparel at the Beyond the Game online merchandise store. Now we get ready to get on up out of here. And as always, treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mama, y'all. I'm up out this thing. Peace.